Alrighty, this is another episode of the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast. Welcome to it. We are live on video now too, so you can watch us on YouTube. Check that out. I'm George. Scott Sunderwald here as always.
Great to be here, and George, we got a very special guest here.
Man, so excited about this. So Christina, my wife, has been getting into pottery for like the past, it's been more than a year now, and she's made all these like amazing things. We'll dig into them a bit, but a mentor, an instructor for Hinton residents. We're happy to have Ray from the Athabasca River Potters Guild. Thanks for coming on, Ray. This is great. Ray, how long have you been in Hinton for?
Over 70 years. I moved about 70. It's this July 1st to be 71 years.
71 years.
I moved here in 1955 before the mill was here. And July 1st we came here.
Yeah.
And there was about 180 to 200 people here.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, the first time we come here, there was only a few buildings here. A highway cafe and the old Highway 16, the old gravel road all the way from Entwistle to right to Belmont. Old gravel road.
Yeah.
And where was home before then?
We lived in Fort Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
In we moved to Edmonton in 52, and then we spent almost a year in Edmonton, and then we moved to Fort Saskatchewan, but lived there about 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad he worked on construction, mainly construction. He was a steel worker, and we traveled all over from Ontario to Regina to Winnipeg and then to Edmonton, all over Canada. I was just quite young.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, moved all over the place, and then moved outside Edmonton. Just shortly after that, we spent maybe 6 months there. I went to a school called Horse Hill School there, outside Edmonton there. We lived in an old green elevator was converted into a house.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, then we moved to Hinton. And first my dad said, we're moving to Edson, because the mill was going to be in Edson.
Mm-hmm.
And then went to Edson, an old mill is going to be built here because there's not enough water in the Cloud River, so it's going to be built in Hinton. We came to Hinton, there was no mill, there's just the site fit out.
Yeah.
We took our bikes and we used to ride around there and had the site. Anyway, they started pouring construction in September. Pool construction started. My dad had a job working there. And then afterwards, when they started erecting the steel, we got a job in steel work. We got a job working for the mill there afterwards.
Yeah, you brought a picture. So this one was from when you were one. You said you were like 9 or so.
Yeah, I was 9 years old, going on 10. Yeah.
This was at like the train, or
Train station.
out in front of the train station.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. How big was your family?
5 kids.
Yeah.
We stayed in the tent, just in behind, halfway up that hill going towards the hospital where the park down we used to sit. Well, there wasn't no building there at all. There was a water pump up on top of the hill, and we stayed in a tent for about 2.5 months. And then my mother said, it's getting too cold. It was the middle of September. We got to do something. We can't stay here. So my dad built a skid shack, and we stayed just across from the real estate office, sitting on the corner, and just across from Sherwood Drive there.
Yeah.
And when we stayed in that tent there, we used to take our rafts because there was a big ravine in front of where McLeod Road runs through there.
Yeah.
There was a big ravine. We used to take our rafts and float them down there into a big lagoon. We used to go swimming in this. And I asked my mother, how come that water's so greenish looking? And it's so clear. I said, because the water was clean. Because we were coming from Fort Saskatchewan, all the water was grey looking.
Yeah.
It was all polluted in those days. Yeah. And shortly after that, it got polluted here. The stores all lined up along the bank, and they were throwing their garbage over the bank there.
Now, when you say rafts, was that made out of logs?
Yeah, well, that was whatever material we could find.
Yeah.
We made these rafts, but as long as they hold 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that as a kid, we would build rafts And so when I say rafts to modern kids now, they're thinking inflatable dinghies.
Run down Walmart and grab
Yeah,
it.
yeah. When you're saying a raft, like we would chop down trees with axes, tie them with ropes, and old Huckleberry
Oh, yeah.
Finn Tom Sawyer rafts, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a real raft, yeah.
Yeah, in my younger days, I used to be a hunter. In my younger days, and I hung around with the Kelly boys.
Yeah, you brought a
I
picture of.
went to-
George Kelly.
Yeah, just a schoolhouse that's just sat over here. Called Ball Diamond sits there,
Yeah.
and it was a two-room schoolhouse. It had a water pump in the front, and all the houses were in the back. And Mrs. Eaton was my school teacher, and after that, Mrs. Walker and Mrs. Gardner. And Mrs. K. Griffiths was my teacher for a while, and we moved to a Mountain View school,
Yeah.
and we stayed there for about a year, and then we had portable schools there just out by Mountain View, and then I went to high school down the valley there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the Kelly name is famous here, of course. We've got the George Kelly Trail at Rock Lake,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I met a machete at the top of that. That's a different story for another time.
Yeah.
But of course, Mike Kelly
Oh, yeah, I
and
knew
Kelly's Bathtub. Did you know Mike?
Yeah, well, I knew Mike, and I knew how he got that name,
Yeah.
Kelly's Bathtub. Because I talked to his son about it. Because I asked his son, how did they name that area, Kelly's Bathtub? He said, well, he was demonstrating, because he was training a lot of military people how to survive in the bush.
Yeah, it's survival instructor.
Yeah, and he was demonstrating how to use a canoe, and he flipped the canoe by accident. Called it Kelly's Bathtub.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Tom Roycraft had a bit of involvement in that as
Yeah.
well. Tom was a world famous, world famous survival instructor as well.
Yeah.
You must have known Tom, hey?
Yeah, I knew what he looked like. I didn't really know because I was just a young kid then.
Yeah,
And I remember Mike, because when I first started trapping with him, I was just their kind of helper. And they had a trap line by Great Lake, and the Woodleys used to have a trap line there, and Mike Kelly got it off him, and he had an old cabin sit right about in the middle of Great Lake there.
mm-hmm.
And it was a really nice looking cabin there, and he used to go across, he trapped beaver around that lake and went across, and he had a line going all around there where Jarvis Creek runs into Hay River there, that area. And then he had another trap line before that, up by the Berlin Tower, up around there. And it was very interesting. It was a pretty big trap line, about 20 miles square. Because after I went with his son Jimmy, trapping up there for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we had pack dogs, worked with pack dogs, and those poor pack dogs, I felt sorry for them because they weren't treated very well. They weren't pets.
Yeah.
They were work. They
Work
were used to
dogs,
working,
yeah.
and they were tied up all year round except when they had to go to work.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And their lifespan was quite short.
So when you say pack dogs, they had like
Packs.
saddlebags
Packs,
on them?
packs that
Yeah,
fit on their back and had collars
yeah.
that fit around their neck.
And what would they be carrying then?
Well, as we first started off, they would be empty, a lot of them. Some of them had stuff in them, but
Yeah,
sleeping bags and stuff like that. And as we went along, we'd be catching animals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'd putting animals in our packs.
Wow.
When we left in the dark, we got to the cabin in the dark.
Yeah.
We had a long ways to walk. It was all walking, no skidoos or machines to go through the bush. We walked. And we walked, not in kilometers, it was miles, between 10 to 15 miles a day.
Yeah.
We walked every day.
were you on snowshoes as well?
Later around here we went on snowshoes, but up there we were lucky we didn't have to wear snowshoes because it was we went out there about the middle of October,
Mm-hmm.
and then you weren't allowed to start trapping until first of November.
Yeah.
And we went to about maybe a week before Christmas. That's when we came into town.
Yeah, I'm just curious about these dogs because I know guys who run sled dogs. They always got to watch out that they're not getting into the rawhide or
yeah.
even the rawhide snowshoes. So if these dogs are carrying trapped animals, did they ever try to chew into that stuff? 'Cause that would
No,
have been a
no, they were
disaster.
pretty trained quite well, but if they saw wild animals, they have a tendency they want to chase them. One time we lost 3 dogs. They had their packs on and everything and their collars, and they saw this moose, and somehow we were busy fixing traps and stuff and and they took off running after this moose, and we thought we lost them completely for good, you know, because we never saw them again until the following summer. They come all the way
Oh, no
about
way.
100 miles, because we're about close to 100 miles north of town here, and they come all the way back. There was only 2 that come back.
Wow.
One, I don't know, he probably got maybe who knows, he finished anyways.
But they made it that long.
Yes,
Wow.
they come back
That
on
is
their own. They come
incredible.
all the way back to Hinton here.
Yeah.
The stories they could tell,
Yeah,
taking
jeez.
down
They
animals.
still had their collars on, the 2 had, but they didn't have their packs on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many dogs in total would you have had?
We had about we had well, the first year we had 6 dogs, and then the following year we had about the same amount, but we had a young pup with us. We were training him.
Okay.
And he kept on wanting to look in these traps and kept on getting his foot stuck. Good thing they weren't big traps.
Yeah.
And we'd hear him howling, and we had to go back and take his foot out of the trap. Good thing he didn't hurt him pretty bad. But he was, you know, some dogs will learn right away, but this one was a little bit slow.
And were they mongrels or they
Yeah,
looked like
a lot of them
huskies, or-
were part husky and part
Yeah.
wolf.
Oh.
Because when they howled, they sounded like wolf.
Yeah.
And lots of times you'd hear wolves howling, and you think, oh, that's our dogs, but they were wolves. You know?
That's why they could survive so well.
Oh, yeah.
They were close to the land. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember Mike, he went up north or had to do some kind of thing, because they flew him way up by the Arctic Circle there. And he brought back 1 or 2 dogs,
Wow.
just for breeding purposes.
Right.
Yeah, he used to run his sleigh every couple of weeks from way up there. he did run a sleigh.
With dogs or
Yeah, with dogs.
Yeah.
With dogs, yeah.
amazing.
Was that the dream then? Like, where at that point in your life, you're like, this is my full-time career then? I'm gonna be a trapper?
I tried it for a few years, but then I figured this isn't really the life for me. I wanted to do something different. I started working for the mill, and just part-time, just planting trees in 62. And got a job, we were planting seeds, and they had poison on the seeds to kill small animals.
Wow.
Out by Wild Horse Lake.
Wow.
And
Poison on the seeds. That's a.
and we come back, and at the end of the day, we left our sack outside the Jeep, and we come back with a couple of squirrels, dead squirrels and birds on the sack. And they had silver paint on them and rubber laxative on the seeds. Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
We take 3 steps, dig with our heel, hit mineral soil, put them in that spot there, don't cover them, and we did it all day.
Yeah.
You had about 30 guys going across the strip block,
Yeah.
and you had to, you're trying to stay 3 steps apart, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
So that's very different than modern tree planting where you got your
Yeah.
little seedlings.
Yeah, we did that
You
later.
did that later. I wasn't even aware that you guys were planting seeds back then. I want to go back to the fur trap and stuff for a second. So, were you getting marten, lynx, beaver, coyote, wolf?
Yeah.
What were you typically after?
Squirrels. When I was with Jimmy,
squirrels.
he was mainly snaring squirrels.
Yeah.
We'd shoot them a little bit, but not too much, because you lose money. Even if you shot them in the head, you still lose a little bit of money, so we'd snare them. We bought this special wire at Edson there.
Yeah.
And,
And you-
it was
you-
actually used, this wire was used actually for fishing.
Okay.
It was a type of, it was made out of wire, but, and we'd cut them a certain length and then make snares, and we had snare poles.
Yeah, I was gonna say for squirrels,
Yeah.
sometimes they lean
Yeah.
against a tree or
Exactly.
they're horizontal
Yeah.
with lots
Yeah.
of snares.
Yeah.
And you guys sitting up late at night, skinning those things out, stretching
Yeah,
them.
didn't go to bed till quite late at night, listening to the radio while you're just skinning them.
Wow.
And you get on nicks on your hands and they get all infected and
Oh no.
yeah, not good.
But you probably got lynx as well.
Oh yeah, we got lynx, yes. Lynx.
Any wolverine?
There we saw their tracks, one or two, but we didn't get any wolverines.
Martin.
But fishers,
Fishers, nice.
Yeah. and martins and weasels and
Yeah.
squirrels, and then I never got any beaver out there because we did get beaver by Great Lake there. Mike Kelly, he discovered a way how to snare them through the ice.
Huh.
Yeah. In front of a beaver house, he sets these poles. He uses poplar for poles and so the beaver wouldn't, not poplars. He used spruce for the poles, and he put poplar for bait.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they were poplar poles, they'd be eaten.
Yeah,
Right?
so I made a mistake there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 spruce poles, and they put snares about that big. At first, he had trouble to set the snares because sometimes they want to close up. So he got this where you can get. They have a lock on them. You can set the snare whatever you want. And they're little locks, and the beavers would see the bait and they'd swim around. Sometimes you get caught by a leg and whatever.
Yeah.
Like a cable snare, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's like, I imagine back then too, it's pretty plentiful. Like there's, it was a
lot of different laws. You gotta wear red when you hunted, when you're hunting.
Okay.
And on the track, we never wore too much red. I don't know. But we never bothered with it too much. But, we wouldn't see too many people out there. We did run across one guy with a wagon and his horse and his wife. And, that's the only person we ever saw.
Oh, wow. Did you fish the rivers back then for bull trout as well and grayling? And...
I did. I fished around here quite a bit around this area.
Yeah.
I used to creek fish. I learned the survival way of fishing.
Tell me about
with a willow, a piece of string, and you could use bait.
Yeah.
And like a lot of insects, how to catch insects in the water. And all that stuff.
So you use a willow rod with
No,
string?
just when you get a willow,
yeah,
it's just usually willows that grow around and they're dry. You have to make sure that pole is dry because after the end of the day, your arm gets very heavy, gets very tired from carrying that willow that's green.
Yeah.
If you get a dry one, it's twice as light.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you got to make sure that doesn't break.
Yeah.
So what you do about that far from the end of your pole. About that far down, you tie it again, where it's stronger. The willow is stronger.
Okay.
So you tie it where it's stronger, and then you tie it right on the very end. So if it does break, it's always tied second.
You don't lose your line.
Yeah, you don't lose your line.
And then you just had a hook and some insect on
yeah,
there.
Insect, or
yeah.
if you find worms,
Yeah.
great. Worms work pretty good, and maggots.
Yeah.
Are better. Maggots work pretty good.
And you drop it in a pool or.
Yeah. Someplace you got to sneak. Crawl on your hands and knees because the vibration on the ground will scare the fish. They get very skittish.
Or your shadow.
Yeah, your
like
shadow.
that.
Yes, yeah, especially with the sun.
Yeah.
Sun is hitting any little movement, boy. At first we caught a lot of rainbows, and the brook trout were just starting to move in this area because they're originally from down east, the brook trout.
Right. Introduced.
Yes, and they slowly come in here and they push the rainbows out.
That's right.
Yeah, because I found streams where I used to catch a lot of rainbows. They mainly, after a while, you're mainly catching brook trout.
Yeah. Well, and now, of course, the Athabasca rainbow, which is the true native rainbow, is threatened.
Yes.
And the brook trout really pushed them out as an invasive species.
That's right, they were like bullies.
But some of those big bull trout, they can get salmon size. In the
well,
river
I caught some, on Hay River was the biggest one I ever caught. I was only about 11 years old. Then with Jimmy, we were going to take some food up to the cabin up there. We had to rain for a couple of days, and we got stuck on the road there, the old Jeep there. So we didn't bother going up there. We stopped by that lake there, Petite Lake there.
Yeah.
Petite.
Yeah.
Yep.
We stopped there, And Jimmy said, we can't drink the water out of here because this guy that was in here before he poisoned some wolves and they got poisoned in the water. So we did camp by the lake there. And he said, we're going to go fishing. Camp here a couple of days. We're going to go fishing over the bank by the river there.
Yeah.
So we went there and we didn't see too many fish at first, and then they were schooled up, like the rainbows, because it had rained so much.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I saw this big bull trout laying in the water there. He was about 26 inches long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have nothing to weigh him with.
26 inches.
He was pretty big.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And I had, we shot this whiskey jack for bait. So, and I had this piece of meat on my hook there, and I crawled up there and I lowered it down and I watched him swallow it up there. And I got him. After he swallowed it, I made sure he swallowed it pretty good, and I just jerked him out of the water. And he was bouncing on that bank that high.
Huh.
Oh, I was just a young kid. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you must have been ecstatic.
Yeah, and so Jimmy come along and he helped me up. Yeah, that was funny.
And you cook it up for supper or
Oh
smoke
yeah,
it?
yeah. We cooked it up there.
Yeah. Oh man, love these stories.
Yeah.
You gotta write these down, Ray. You gotta write them down.
That was a lot of adventures I used to do.
Yeah.
Like me and George, we worked together quite a bit. The first time we were on this little, it was during Easter holidays. I was only 13 years old. We decided to hitchhike to go to Brew, peel ties. I worked there for a week, but it was just a bunch of young kids. There was 4 of us all together. Me, George Kelly, Clarence Kelleher, Gary Schnur, and George. And we went to Swan's Landing there, by Brule there, and asked him if we could get a job there, peeling ties, and he said, well, you guys are kind of young, you know. And he said, okay, you can, I'll give you a job for a week or so, and then, but I don't have any room for you to stay here, but you can take some mattresses out of the shed over here, and go sleep down by the railroad tracks there about half a mile away. So we took these mattresses out, and when we were getting these mattresses, we saw this box of dynamite in there. So George grabs a couple of sticks of dynamite there. And at nighttime, when we were sitting around the campfire there drinking coffee, he says, well, he threw them in the fire and we ran behind a tree there. We weren't sure if they were going to explode or not. And they flared up in the air, 15 feet up in the air. He said, oh, we got to get some more of this. And we got some more the next day. And you know kids are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So peeling these railway ties. Tell me about that.
Okay, the guy had to knock the knots. Sometimes there'd be knots on these ties. Then the guy had one of these knives.
Draw knife?
Draw knife, that's what they call it.
Get the bark off.
Yeah, and then as George was working with Gary Schnur, and somehow he nicked him on the head here. Because Gary was busy drawing the knife, and George was going to chop this knot off, and he gashed Gary in the head. So Gary walked around with a big rag tied to his head.
Oh, jeez. And was this all spruce and pine you guys were using for that?
I couldn't say for sure.
Yeah. And so you peel them, and then they had to be cut sort of that rectangular.
Yeah. They were already hewed.
Oh, they were.
They were hewed, but we just had to peel the bark off.
Gotcha.
We wanted the bark off.
Yeah. And then dipped them in creosote to use for the railway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I know some of the old timers, they used to hew them with an axe. They had big axes like that. In fact, when me and George later on, we worked cutting pulpwood with Frank Hunt down by Marlborough there. We had a job working for him for all summer there. We were out hunting, looking for something to eat, and anyways, we come across this island, big on the middle of this muskeg. We went there, and there's a big pile of ties, all piled up neatly and hewed and everything, just left there rotting. He must have been there for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe a couple hundred cords there.
Sheesh.
I'm loving these stories. I don't want to quit. So, hunting. Tell us about hunting. Tell us about bear encounters. Tell us about some of those stories. Did you get out after moose, deer, elk back then?
Yeah, we used to go for hunting for elk there. Just by the river there by Cardale is.
Yeah.
We used to go hunting for elk and then we used to go across the river here hunting for geese. Yeah.
Canada geese back then?
Canada geese.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went there and there were lots of times in the springtime we'd go hunting for chickens.
Yeah.
Up by, on the other side of Thompson Lake, Maxwell Lake there. In those days it was called Allen's Lake.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because Art Allen lived right by the lake there.
Mm.
Yeah.
And he had a house right by there. That's the only, he had a bunch of land down there.
Yeah.
In fact, where later on they built the airstrip by that school there.
Mm-hmm.
And the only road that was going in there was right from the Rob Road, just around where the cemetery is. It went all the way straight to the lake there.
Huh.
Yeah.
He had a barn there, old log barn.
And for your elk hunting, were you going for bulls and cows back then?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, well, it was mainly, it depends what your license said, you know, and that kind of stuff. And I don't know if they were, if they had the same kind of rules as they do now, like, because they were native people. The mother, like their mother was native, she was from Marlborough, but the dad, he was from Barhead.
Yeah.
Mike, I think Mike was from Barhead. And anyways, we'd go hunting all over the place here for different things.
Good old 30 or 303 British. What were you using back then?
Lots of British 303s, and we go hunting bear in the springtime.
Yeah.
Hunting bear, black bears. Yeah.
Any moose back then?
Not too much. We shot moose on the trap line, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did shoot nice moose there.
Any caribou?
No.
Because they were further north.
No. I remember we'd see their tracks.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't see the caribou. And we never tried to track them down because they walk pretty fast.
Yeah.
When you try to follow them, holy man, because
they're on the move. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to run. You have to run if you're going to follow them.
And grizzly? You see much for grizz back then?
We see their tracks once in a while. We come across, but we never saw that for bears. I remember one time me and George were going out hunting for black bears. We went all by Coal Creek there and all the way around there. And never saw any black bears until we come by the dump. That's where all the black.
That's
bears
where they like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the food was.
Yeah. Mountain lions, cougars.
No,
not much back then.
Never saw too much. Once in a while you see their tracks on the trap line, but they're very skittish.
Yeah.
Not like they are nowadays. And
they're more
because
bold
nobody shoots at them anymore, so they're braver.
Yeah,
for sure.
And cats are like that. They like things to run away from.
Yeah.
They don't like things that stand up and face them.
Yeah.
Did you have any cold survival stories? You're out in the cold there, hypothermia, breaking through ice, across the rivers.
We're by me and Billy. I trapped with Billy, his brother, George's brother, and we had spent about a couple of weeks out by Greg Lake there, and we were just young. I was about 15 years old then. We had to cross the lake because they had a line set way up on the top of that hill there, on the other side of the hill. And anyways, we left pretty late, about 12 o'clock, and we had about 15 miles to walk. And we got about halfway there, and it was cold. Oh, we always carried a thermometer with us too. It got down. We were cutting wood all night long because we decided to spend the night in the bush. And it got so cold, it got down to 50 below.
Jeez.
We had a fire about 15 feet high, and you still couldn't keep warm.
Yeah.
And I tried to lay down to sleep, but Billy said, "Don't sleep, you're gonna freeze to death." He said,
Yeah.
That'll make you sleepy when you get cold."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I just,
You're up all night?
yeah, we stayed up all night cutting wood, and
Yeah.
trying to
So
survive, and
fun.
then we had to walk the rest of the way we walked back. But that was pretty scary when I think about it.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
really cold. Yeah, your skin freezes in literally seconds
Oh.
at that temperature, yeah.
You couldn't get away from the fire because
Yeah.
the skies were just clear as a bell, and the wind.
Yeah.
Especially it doesn't take much wind to freeze you.
Yeah, the coldest, because I've been out by Greg Lake when it was about minus 42, so that was cold enough. I can't imagine minus 50.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
that was at night time. Another time too on the trap line by the Big Berlin River there. We had our cabin there. I thought, well, maybe today we won't go out. But he said no. Jimmy said, "No, we got to go out because if we stay in our cabin, we'll burn all our wood up. We'll keep warm by walking."
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We started walking. It wasn't too bad because they're always down by the river. It's colder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As soon as we got a little bit up, it started warm. Not a hell of a lot. It didn't warm up a hell of a lot. But
How'd you keep your toes warm and your fingers?
well, just make sure you have clean socks. You know,
Yeah.
That's very important. Don't get wet.
Wow.
But you know it. He happened to have an extra coat in the cabin there. They helped me out quite a bit. Yeah, it was one of those fleece lined Air Force coats.
Right.
Yeah.
So I put that on. That helped me out quite a bit. But yeah, it was cold enough.
Yeah.
We had to make sure when it was really cold sometimes for the dogs, I give them lots of snow so they could bury themselves in the snow.
Yeah.
You get up in the morning to be covered with snow, you could just see a round circle. They put their head under the tail and
Yeah.
try to keep warm.
Amazing.
Yeah. Any of these cabins still around that you know of, like these cabins? Or?
I did go back later. I took some guys back there fishing because the fishing was really good back there. We fished for there. We did catch some big whitefish back there, and the creek. I don't know. They called it Beaver Creek at that time. I'm not sure if it had an official name on it, but because there was a lot of beavers on it. It ran into the Big Burn River there. Yeah, and there was a lot of bull trout and rainbows some places.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you're fishing. Yeah, it was really good because we had these Argos. And I went with some other guys, and I was going to show them where these cabins were. Well, we only went to a couple of cabins there. Anyway, we went down to this, down by the river there, the Big Berlin. There was a cabin there. And we just took our Argos and went to this other cabin. I wanted to show them what they called the home cabin. We got to the home cabin, and it had been broke in by black bear.
Oh wow.
And even though they had big spikes sticking out along the whole windows and everything, the bear still got on. There was just a bunch of bear hair stuck.
Wow.
Those big spikes.
Yeah.
Of course, he ripped the hell out of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bite holes in tin cans and everything.
So was there provisions in there?
They kept a lot of rifles and stuff like that inside the cabin.
And food too?
And food, you know,
Yeah.
the stuff that wouldn't perish.
Right.
Because when Anyway, we cleaned up the cabin as much as we could and locked her up again. And when I got back to him, I told Jimmy about it. So he had to go back and try to get rid of that bear that was in there.
Yeah.
Boy,
I love these stories.
That's great. I mean, yeah, man.
it's surprising how strong those bears are too. Holy, they bite holes in everything.
Yeah.
Pots and pans.
Yeah.
Looking for food.
So when you moved to Hinton, you said 180, 200 people or so. Your dad's working on the mill. When the mill's done, does Hinton just explode with population?
Oh, yeah.
Comes out?
Yeah, there was a lot of people from the coal branch moved in here.
Yeah.
And along with Mountain View School, that big bank there was tents all along there.
Yeah.
Where Chevrolet Drive exists now. There was tents all along there. People, there was no place to stay in town.
Yeah.
So they just have
Everyone's
some-
intense.
Yes.
Wow.
Were they mining coal? I know by Happy Creek and what's now Griffiths Ford was
Yeah.
actually a coal mine.
Yes,
there.
it was, but it didn't exist when I moved here. It was
Okay.
shut down.
And there was, as far as I know, a coal collapse, like
Yeah.
in the coal mine. People died in there, right? It was an underground mine, which is crazy because we just drive by and there's apartments and
Yeah.
nobody knows the history.
Yeah.
That was an
Yeah.
underground coal mine.
Right by where Griffiths, right by on the creek, the office used to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember kids would show me where it's at.
Yeah. Coal mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Happy Creek was during the Prohibition days when they were brewing moonshine.
Yes,
back there.
that's why they call it Happy Creek.
Yeah, because
The same tail where Still Creek runs into Coal Creek there.
Yeah.
I wonder how come they call it Still Creek? The guy told me because they had run Still.
they got the copper still going there. Copperhead Road, yeah.
Coal Creek, they had Woody had a coal mine in there
Yeah.
because you drive the old road that went to the Coal Creek there. Just on the other side of the creek was a stipple there, full stipple. It was still standing there.
Yeah. Amazing.
Did your dad build a house then?
Yeah, we built a skid shack and we stayed just across from Sherwood Drive on the other side there. Where they sell real estate there?
Yeah.
Just up the page
Okay. Yeah.
across that on the other side of the road, right on the corner. That's where our house is at.
Wow.
And then in '56, we got Tim Eaton with his tractor to move our house up by Sherwood Drive, and right where the road goes about halfway in the middle of the road. That's where our house used to sit.
So you just jacked it up onto a trailer and
Well,
pulled it?
we just moved it on skids.
Okay. Just dragged it.
And just dragged it there on skids and.
I was thinking dragging our house closer to the river.
There you go. Yeah. You give it a try later on.
Yeah, and then after they built us, because we were one of the first houses on that street.
Now you also mentioned Prairie Creek, which now is Mascouda,
Yeah.
and that was the site. You know, you got the voyageurs coming through. That was the original town site back
Yes,
in the
that's
day.
right. It was on the other side of the creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and even now, if you walk some of those trails, you'll find old foundations of stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
what did you see back then in the day? What was down there? Were there like
Well,
homesteads or
there was,
horses?
yeah, Emmer Nickerson lived down there,
Mhm.
right by, not too far from the creek there on this side of the creek. And she was married to an outfitter, Nick
Okay.
Nickerson was his name, and he was bedridden at the time I saw him. But guys used to tell me he used to pack a revolver around. He was a pretty good shot. He said you could throw a bottle in the air and you could shoot her, but you know what stories are.
Yeah, sure.
But anyways, I did get to meet him, but he was dead stricken there. And Emma, she was the truck driver. She drove a gravel truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because I had some friends that lived down there.
Right.
Myron Croy and Bush Frizzell. They lived with their parents at that time.
Because Greg, we've got Greg River, Greg Lake. That was from Greg, who
Yeah.
lived back at Prairie Creek,
Yeah,
and he came from the Battle of Bighorn.
yes.
So I mean, that's some interesting
Oh, yeah,
United States history, and
Oh, yeah.
he came up here. Shoot, there was something else I was going to ask.
Well, they
you
probably
about.
come up by the Bighorn Trail there.
That's right.
Yeah, because a lot of people Americans come to that Bighorn Trail. That's an interesting trail. Me and George and Johnny Johnson, we hiked it. We almost made it to the Greg River cabin there.
Yeah.
But we got to the river and then we turned around and come back.
Yeah, I did that a few years ago with my family. So the saying was that the Bighorn Trail went from Calgary up to here, and
Yeah.
some say it went all the way from Mexico to Alaska.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a big old
Well,
historic trail.
right around that whole corridor goes all the way along the mountains there. It's an old
Yeah.
ancient trail.
Mm-hmm.
I think Robert Guest, he was an artist and
Right.
he went along that trail and painted some pictures.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
Passed away,
Yeah.
15 or so years
Yeah.
ago. Now I remember. Shan Harvey.
Yeah, I met him. I
Did you meet him?
Yeah, I
No
met him
way.
by entrance, not old entrance, but entrance there.
Yeah.
And the guy knew him, like Myron Corey knew him. He said, "Come on, I'll introduce you to him." And he was just an old guy that was sitting there, but he was from England.
Right.
And he come from a wealthy family, actually.
Hmm.
But anyways, yeah, he's a very interesting guy to talk to. Yeah.
So what was his background?
So Shand Harvey's famous. He wrote a book, Pack Saddles to Tejon,
Yes.
which is one of the best historical books of the area if you can get your hands on it. I found one on Amazon. It was like dog-eared and all written up. But he's got stories about all these characters, and like after the fur trade, he was there helping with the railway and the indigenous tribes all the way up to Grand Cache. He talks about the buffalo jump at Rock Lake, and it's just amazing stories. So that's really cool that you met him. That would have been
I did get to meet him.
Yeah.
Only once though, just once. I think he just enjoyed just living there, you know.
Yeah.
But he'd take people out once in a while.
He had a little cabin there close to entrance,
just
right?
a little wee
Entrance
little
ranch.
shack that he stayed in, you know.
Yeah.
But I think from what I've known about him, he come from a wealthy family. Somehow he was disinherited.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, he ended up in Edmonton and then thought he'd make his way to the Rockies, and he really loved that wilderness life out here.
He probably wanted to do his own thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Didn't want to follow some of the rules sometimes of his family said, you know.
Who does, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're so you start planting trees 62, and then you get into forestry. Is that the next?
Yeah, we used to do some experimental work for the forestry. We out by Camp 33 by Great River, there was a camp in there called Camp 33, Helgi Nelson on it. And there was about 130 some guys working in that camp. And but I was working with the forestry, we stayed in some trailers there, and we were thinning trees out by the Great River burn there, by Tri Creeks there.
Mm-hmm.
We were thinning trees out by hand, on our hands and knees all day, and they wanted to see what the survival rate would be. We just did this for a couple months. We had a stick about 8 feet long, and pick the healthiest tree out in front of you, and you thin all the trees out, pull them out, and you left that biggest tree in front of you, but they found it was too big of a change of environment. There's a reason why those trees go thick, to protect themselves.
Oh yeah.
And as they grow up bigger, then the small ones die out.
Yeah.
They can survive. And they found that, because that one guy working by himself, doing the same thing, and they found that neither one worked very well.
Lots of experimentation.
Yeah, lots of experimenting, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just wanted to see, and then after I got our job, actually, when they first started lawn logging, by Camp 22, that's on the other side of McLeod River there, they just started using the skidders, the C4s, tree farmers. And a lot of the old timers said they're never going to work, they're going to be stuck all the time, never going to outdo the horse. And of course, they could pull the horse like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, our job, me and George were bucking the wood up to 8 foot and piling. That was okay, but you had to use your own power saw and buy your own gas and oil. And some of the piles are frozen in the ground. And every once in a while you hit a rock. And that, your saw never cuts the same.
Yeah.
Temper out of your steel and your teeth.
Well, you still have all your fingers, and I don't see you walking with a limp, so you must have done something right. How did your back fare with all the
It was okay.
chainsawing?
It was okay. It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but later on I did hurt my back when we were cutting out that road on the Emerson Creek Road there on the other side of the river there. I was working for the mill there. We were cutting out that road there, and I was pushing on this tree, and all of a sudden, bang!
Okay.
It did something to my back there. Screwed it up. Anyways, so I still have to watch, what I do.
Yeah, and your ears are good, probably as good as mine. So with all the chainsawing, did you have good hearing protection back then? Or?
No, not too good. I used to play, and I know, I just, for some reason...
You just squint, yeah.
I used to play in a band years ago.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s.
What was the band called?
The Nobles.
The Nobles.
And all the guys I was playing with, there was 5 of us in the band, they all went to school. And when they all graduated, that's when the band split up. And I was the oldest in the band.
Electric guitar?
Yeah,
Because I seen you play acoustic at the coffee house there.
At first I used to play acoustic.
Yeah.
And then I went to electric. And of course, we started off with country music, and then we got into more rock and roll stuff. And it was all ventures, it was all instrumentals.
Yeah.
And we started singing and stuff like that.
Did you have the long hair to go with it back then?
No, later on I grew long hair, but not at that time.
Oh, okay.
But some of my other friends, they started growing long hair. Yeah, but it was interesting. It's very interesting.
So with the forestry stuff, because I've been in town here now going on 22 years, and it's funny how the forest has changed. I'm like, I used to hunt in what was a cut block, and now, 22-year-old trees, they're getting up there.
Oh yeah.
So from your perspective, you've probably seen stuff that you planted, harvested, or nearly harvested by now.
Yeah, the slowest place around here to grow trees is around Wild Horse Lake.
Yeah.
Because of the sand and the wind.
The wind is terrible.
Yeah, wind. Trees don't like wind too much.
No.
And the sand.
Yeah.
It's right in the wood there. Your chain would last maybe a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that. It'd be so much sparks coming from the wood.
Yeah.
And you're cutting in there. The bar would wear out, and the chain would stretch. It was terrible. Anyway, used horses. Remember when I first started working in Camp 33, I had to use a horse. I had to learn how to use a horse. G and haw. G is for right and haw is for left.
These are big draft horses, big Belgians or Clydesdales.
Yeah, they were part workhorse. Yeah, it was interesting. And the most important thing is, whoa!
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So how long did you do forestry for then? Was that like your career?
I did it for about 20-some years.
Yeah.
So after a while, I got a job working with this for the mill, doing camp and road maintenance. It was called Woodland Special because they worked on the camps. They fixed repairing stuff, building bridges. Got a job working on bridges. A lot of the bridges they made were made out of logs and stuff like that.
Cool.
Especially on Great River, there were several bridges.
Yeah.
Where the old road used to go all the way to Rob Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. All wood to there. And sometimes the big rain come up, it wash all the bridges out. We had 4 or 5 bridges to build.
Have to start all over.
Oh man.
And I worked on one bridge by the Old Man River there on the north of Hinton here, where a guy got killed. That was bad, very bad. Where the log come out of the cage. It was a big, long cage, about 15 feet high, and the log sat in there. And was sitting up the cable. The choker went right around the log and was holding the log. But the whole trouble is, the log wasn't sitting in the cap. It was sitting outside, and the crane was moving, and the brake slipped. And the hammer weighs about 2.5 tons. And it come down, hit the side of the log, broke the cable. The log come right across out of the cage and hit the guy right across the chest.
Oh wow. Sheesh.
Not very good.
Wow.
He didn't die instantly, but he died coming to town.
Yeah. Man. Yeah.
And also worked on another job where, well, maybe I shouldn't talk about this story. It's not very good because I'll tell you after.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's,
I mean, but the point is there was a lot of danger with some of those jobs.
Oh yeah, they're very dangerous jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't have all the occupational health and safety of today.
I remember we worked cutting wood down by the boundary. At that time it was the boundary, the lease of the release. There, it was down by Pembina River.
Yeah.
And we were told, because the government had the line marked out, they had signs along it, private property, and this is it. And anyways, we were told, do not cut any trees across that line because the mill will be fined.
Yeah.
They were fined $1,000 a tree. So these guys, they went and cut maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 trees, and of course the mill gets fined for that.
Yeah.
$1,000 a tree. Of course, the guys got fired just like that. Bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the natural gas, because of course the Hinton area, you got the mining, you got the forestry, the natural gas is another big resource here. But when did that really get discovered?
Well, I know they used to do a lot of exploring with seismic lines. And they have those little seismic lines running all over here. Now they don't use seismic lines anymore.
Yeah.
Because they do it by air.
Yeah.
But yeah, we must have known what was under the ground then. And then all of a sudden, I probably just maybe a few years before I quit the mill, they were doing a lot of, then that's when the gas.
Was that 1970s then, 1980s, or what?
Yeah, it would be probably in, because I got married in 82, and they were still, and I was still working for the mill. And I quit, maybe, I quit about 3 or 4 years after that. Yeah.
You said you got married in 82. I know before we started the podcast, you said you started pottery in 82. Is that related?
I got started pottery in 81.
81, okay.
81.
Yeah.
Because it was my wife's fault.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to be taking a pottery course with my friend. You want to be interested in doing pottery? I said, well, more for women.
Yeah.
So I'm the one I got hooked on it. So,
Yeah.
Good for you.
You got into it. Man, so you brought some of your pottery examples here too. Just the this new.
So Ray,
Awesome.
and then you became the local expert.
Yeah.
That's what you're known for in town here. That's,
Yeah, I just took interest in it and just trying different things out, you know, and just,
Did it just click for you, like when you first started?
Yeah.
Show this to the camera too.
First thing I made was I was a hand building. I took a hand building course.
Yeah.
I should have brought it home. I still got it. It's a log cabin I made out of clay.
Okay.
Log cabin out of clay. Wow.
But I do like hand building quite a bit.
So for the listeners who don't know what hand building is, what's hand building?
So don't use the wheel
Yeah.
and everything. There's several methods in hand building. Pinch pots, coil pots, or ancient way of making pots.
Right.
I think the first probably time they've ever discovered they could use clay for making pots was probably they had a campfire going around. The Neanderthals or the Homo sapiens had a fire going there, and somebody picked a rock where there was clay draped over a rock, and the pops this clay pot.
Yeah.
I figured, oh, we could use this for it.
Yeah.
Because how else are you going to discover that you could use this material? They used to use this clay for chinking cabins, and
Yeah.
chinking, blocking holes and stuff. They'd mix it with straw and
Sure.
stuff to give it binding material.
Yeah, we call that survival cement. So we want to get into the technicality, but because you're talking about ancient history, let's stay there for a while. Because this is the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast, and a lot of our listeners are big into bushcraft and wilderness skills. And pottery is something that I'm ashamed to say I have not mastered. I've tried it from a survival bushcraft side, and I've never gotten really good at it. But I have this dream of going out to a riverbed. Sometimes you find clay deposits.
Yeah.
Come home with the clay. I've made the as you say, hand build. Is that the term? you
hand
use?
building, yeah.
Yeah, you do the coils and then dry it out in a cool spot in the shade. If it dries too fast, it cracked. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
And then set it in the embers of the fire. And I've gotten it fired, but usually something cracks there.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
mastered
you
that.
have to probably wedge the clay. Wedging is getting all the particles of the clay sort of combined together, getting all the right consistency of the clay. So it's like mixing. You mix dough for bread.
Yeah.
You know, it's clay's the same way. You're getting all the particles hooked together to make it stronger, all the structure of the clay. And if you don't, there's a couple different ways to wedge clay. If you don't know how to spiral wedging or monkey face style, you can just take it and slam it on the table. Turn it every time you slam it, and that gets all the particles, tightens them up.
Yeah.
So it's like kneading pizza dough.
Yeah, kneading is different. Kneading is getting the flour activated.
Yeah. And you got to throw some temper material in there, like charcoal or sand.
Well, you can for different things to make it. Depends what temperature you want to fire it to. So you can add silica to it, and there's different materials you can add to clay to make it. Depends what temperature you want to fire it to.
Yeah. So I look for clay deposits. I found some really great stuff close to the disc golf, by the way, and sometimes you see it.
Yeah.
And it's got to be so sticky that you can roll it into a bit of a snake coil.
Yeah.
And it won't crack if you bend it, right? That's what you're looking for.
No.
But how do you tell the difference between sometimes it's more silty and not clay? Like well, if you usually if you're getting clay right out of the ground, you got to sift it. Excuse me, to get all the sticks and the wood out of it. Whatever else, you don't want any rocks in there. Yeah.
Because they explode. So you got to watch what kind of material. That's why you got to sift it through a screen. Dry it out, sift it through a screen. And sometimes some people claim you can dig it out of the ground, but you have to be really lucky when you can just dig it out of the ground and use it. You still got to wedge it. You still got to hook the molecules of the clay together. Some people will use paper, and that strengthens clay, but you got to watch with that because all the paper will start it'll start getting moldy and start making your clay smell. It smell like sewer.
Yeah.
When you say paper, are they grinding it up or how?
No, they're just putting they're using like toilet paper works because it dissolves very easy. It's made for putting in water and all the fibers will separate.
Yeah.
Where other paper, that's why you're not supposed to put even clinics in your toilet.
So the paper works almost like a binding material?
Yeah, it acts like a binding material, but sometimes, if you weren't trying to fix cracks and stuff, you can make paper clay, and that helps for cracking, stop cracking.
Yeah.
Or manure. Some people will mix manure with it.
There you go, Scott.
There you go. Yeah.
If you want your clay to be stronger, you can activate it. Back in the old days, if they wanted the clay to be stronger, they urinate in it or spit in it, get the bacteria working in it. Of course,
I can't tell if Ray's pranking right now or what.
Well, you wonder who thought of that. Probably some guy is so pissed off that it wasn't working. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a piss in this and see if it works.
But it smells like. Because one time I wanted to play around with some clay and I wanted to make it stronger, so I took some vinegar. I know vinegar will get your bacteria working in your clay too. And all of a sudden the wife says, "What the hell is that smell?" Because it smells like like sewer.
Yeah.
It has a very sewer smell to it, and I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It just stunk the whole house up.
But of course, once you fire it, that smell would be gone.
Oh yeah, for sure. All that. Oh yeah, because it's fired.
Yeah. And then so back to the bushcraft pottery. If you want to understand, there's a few different ways. You can either put your dried. They have to be dry with the bushcraft stuff, and then build your fire around it, or you put it right on the embers and bury it for the night, and then let it completely cool.
Yeah.
Can't have any heat in it, or it'll crack.
Yeah.
And dig them out, and it's got to sing like, you hit it, you can feel.
Yeah.
It's got that little sound to it.
Yeah, this one's got a crack in it.
Okay.
You see the crack. It's a big old pot, that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's supposed to. It should have a ring to it.
Yeah.
Oh, this one should ring.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that one that you picked up there too. So before we started the podcast, you were saying, how'd you make the design on that one then?
With a deer tail.
Yeah, deer tail.
Yeah, white-tailed deer.
Yeah.
Like a big paintbrush.
Yeah, I use it as a paintbrush.
That's great.
That's
No.
cool.
I've got a lot other pottery, bigger bowls I made, and that's what I used. But after a while, you get tired of that design, so I had to switch to different designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite piece that you've made?
Oh.
Like over the years, I'm sure you've just countless pieces.
Yeah, my drums. I like my drums. I liked it when I made my drums.
Oh yeah,
I
well.
still have them at home. And no, but yeah, if it rains or something like that, humidity affects the skin.
Oh yeah.
So you made the drum out of clay and then put the
Rawhide
over top.
Rawhide. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's pictures. There should be pictures here.
And we also saw in your photos you made some masks out of clay.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
No, these are all designs here. I have some pictures here. There's this is a picture. This is unglazed.
Okay. So you've talked a lot about glazing. What is glazing?
Glazing is a finishing, like painting, putting a paint over top of clay, and after you bake it, it gets very, very hard.
Gives it that shine.
Yep, it gives it a sheen. It can be very matte looking, or it can be shiny.
Yeah.
These are a few pieces that the wife made too. This is like I think she said you helped her with this one too, Ray. So this is like a chip dip sort of pot.
Oh, I thought it was for cigars.
Don't, yeah. We're not using cigars on these, Christina. She made me this coffee cup for my birthday this year, and it's like, this is such a cool, kind of like half glaze maybe.
Well,
there's a rum I made.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Oh, let me see this. I'll hold this up.
And so that glaze
cool.
looks a bit like icing sugar dribbled down there. There's different colors of glaze.
Yeah,
you
there's
could
different
do.
colors of glaze, and there's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the one I won a contest in.
With the drum here.
Yeah, the drum. Yeah.
I'd love to hear how that sounds. Should bring it to the coffee house some.
Is there like pottery competitions then, Ray, or like where?
Well, they did have years ago. Yeah, they had.
That is
it's in
cool.
Jasper and Hinton, in the that's the town.
And you've got this tea kettle here. That looks very difficult. How do you get that spout not to just start drooping when you...
Well, you have to make the spout separate, and the lid separate.
Huh.
And of course, you put the handle on too.
Yeah.
But it's just it's the most important thing on a teapot is making sure it pours properly.
Yeah. And have you broken a lot over the years as you fire them?
Not a lot, a few. I have, it's a trial and error when you first start out.
Yeah.
So you form them wet or damp, whatever your term is, and then are you putting them in a dark room for how long?
It doesn't have to be dark, as long as they're covered so they dry slowly.
Mm.
You usually use plastic,
Okay.
cover them, just to dry out. Some places they have drying rooms
Yeah.
where they dry slow. It's just so they don't dry really fast, and it causes the pot to warp sometimes or crack.
Yeah.
If it dries too fast, moisture escapes too fast, the pot can't adjust to it.
Yeah.
How long does it typically take?
Depends on the size of the pot.
Okay.
Bigger your thing is, the longer it takes to dry. If you have a big bowl, that big, it takes a long time to dry out.
Long time being days, weeks?
No, it could be a month, maybe.
Wow.
Could take a long time. If you try to hurry it, it doesn't pay because you can get warp each. You put all the work into a big project and it gets right. 'Cause I make bird baths too.
Okay.
But
Wow.
they're made so you can put outside. There's no bottom on, so you put a wooden post to the pedestal, and the bowl is separate. So they're made separately and that kind of stuff.
And talk to us about the kilns. So you got a special kiln that fires the clay.
Yeah, we do oxidation firings.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're electrical. They're heated by electricity, where the other type is reduction firings. Where you're starving the atmosphere of oxygen, and that makes the glaze go to work, changes colors. That's why raku firing, it's an old ancient type of firing. It's, I think it more or less comes from Japan or from China. It's an ancient type of firing where you in the chamber you plug off the holes, and all of a sudden the glazes will react and change colors. If you don't do that, they have a tendency to be very matte, dead looking.
Yeah. How long does something get fired for?
Well, right now, the bisque firing, it takes around 15, 16 hours, depends on the kiln.
Wow. Okay.
And it depends on the kiln and what type of kiln you have. And right now our glaze firings take about 12 hours.
Yeah.
And you gotta let them cool down for another 12 hours and stuff like that.
Any projects on the bucket list right now? Like something that you really want to make?
Yeah, I have to finish off a bird bath.
Bird bath? Yeah. And anything, I was curious about this too, anything that you've tried to make that just hasn't worked out for you? Like I really want to make some design, you haven't been able to do it? I'm just, Christina comes home with so much different things. Like we got like...
Well, what is this thing? Maybe Ray can identify.
Ray, what's this thing?
And for our...
For straining.
I think it's a straining...
Yeah, it's like a cup bowl with some holes in it.
Yeah. Christina was telling me about it tonight. It's for...
I think for putting washing berries out.
I want to say it's
Noodles, berries, something
I
like
think
that.
it's the fruit thing. So you put your fruits in there.
Not for cigars?
No, not cigars.
Tell her to make something for cigars, George.
We got all our plates now are things she's made with Ray, and like she made these little like dip plates. There's like a plate with a dip little cup on the side of it that we use. Like Casey uses it regularly. It's perfect. Put a little ketchup in there with his fries. And yeah, it's really cool. I love it.
Oh, this could be two chips and dip in the middle there.
Oh yeah, that's what it's for.
Oh, well, there
Not
you
cigars.
go. Not
Chips and
cigars.
dip.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Ray, we do some would you rathers here. Some of them are goofy, some of them are more serious. This is a quality over quantity question in pottery, making clay items, pottery items. Would you rather make one flawless pot per month or unlimited rough pots that all have small flaws?
Big pots without flaws. I'd rather do one project a month and not have any flaws in it.
Be super proud of it. So what is a typical flaw? You could get cracks, you get bubbles, what happens?
Yeah, no cracks, and as long as I like the appearance of it and the glaze comes up, then I'm happy with it. But sometimes, not all the time. Because if I know there's any flaws in it, I'll spot it right away.
Yeah. Are you selling this stuff at markets then?
Yeah, I sell it at the Old Ryan. Yeah.
Okay.
The Old Ryan, and
there you go. Go get a original Ray pottery at the Old Ryan. Another one. Does size matter, Ray? Do you like to create giant storage jars or giant pottery, or tiny cups and bowls? What's
I like making teapots. My favorite.
Okay.
That's my favorite thing, to make teapots, because more of a challenge. Making bowls is very boring. But some people, not everybody's different.
Yeah.
I like making teapots.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds more technical to me. You get the spout and the handle. And the lid.
And I like hand building.
Okay.
I like making masks, and I like making log cabins. I made a few buildings. Some people didn't want log cabin, but they wanted a picture. Well, they want something made out of clay that looked like their house.
Yeah.
So I had to make a couple of those, which is very hard to do.
That's cool. Wow.
Because I'm not much of a carpenter. They gave me a picture of what their house looked like, and I had to try to copy it.
Yeah.
Which was very, very hard.
And when people are purchasing these, are they looking for something with character or perfect symmetry, or everybody's a little bit different?
The colors matter. Colors matter quite a bit. And mountains now. People are into mountains.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The mountains on this one is beautiful.
Especially since Jasper had that fire in Jasper there, they're really into mountains. And I found, well, know to go with it.
Yeah.
So as you start developing mountains, you get better at it. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So
Yeah.
And like the texture too, like you can feel the
it's
mountains.
a beautiful piece there.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. This would you rather is more of a survival question because we do a lot of survival bushcraft type stuff. You're on a survival trip, Ray, George. You're out in the bush. You need to purify water. You don't have tablets. You don't have a pot, so you got beaver fever out there in the ponds. Would you rather try to make a clay pot to eventually boil your water? Remember, you got 3 days before you dehydrate, or make a burnout bowl. And I make burnout bowls here. This is just a chunk of birch, and you burn it out with coals and let the fire do the job. And I've boiled water in these. You use hot rocks, right? You don't stick the bowl on the fire.
No.
You put the hot rocks in there and boil your water. So, knowing what you know about clay, would you be trying to build a wood bowl or
Probably a wood bowl, because the clay we have here, you can't put on open flames. In some countries, you can take clay out of the ground and put it on open flame. But this, you can only put it in the oven.
Okay.
You can't even put it on an electric stove, like a burner on the electric stove. It'll crack. One time I made a mistake. I took a casserole out of the oven and put it on this burner. It was still hot. Little hairline cracks in the bottom. So
Wow.
it's very sensitive. But you can get clay that can take, like Raku clay has ground up pots in there, grog, what they call grog, and it's ground up bisque pots that sort of makes your clay fluctuate in temperature.
Man, because that's on my bucket list. I just want to go out in the bush, find some clay, and make a bowl, even if it's a crummy looking bowl, and have it work.
You have to test it out. And probably if you put grog in it, which like Raku clay is safe as long as you don't use Raku glazes, because the glazes in the Raku sometimes they contain lead.
Okay.
Lead is safe as long as you fire it to the proper temperature to burn the impurities of the lead out. The trouble is, in a lot of these countries, they don't use test cones, and they don't reach the proper temperature, so they still contain lead.
Get your lead
You
poisoning.
should always test out your pots that are made in a different country, because they don't use test cones. They just go by the site in the kiln. If it looks like a rosy orangey color, then they say that's good enough, and they take it out.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
George, if Ray is not doing clay and he's the expert, are you doing a burn bowl or a clay bowl?
Burn bowl seems like
the way to go.
I know they used to use leather too. Leather
They
pots. Leather pots.
I was gonna bring some hide tonight, but I didn't. Yeah. So, and people don't appreciate that in survival, because they're like, if you had to make a pot, that's why when pots came, they were such a big trade item, right? Because you could put them right on fire. And I have seen guys like bushcrafters, not something beautiful like this, but they'll make a fired bowl, and they will set it in the embers and boil their water and make their soup. Right?
You can do that, but not with this clay.
Okay.
It can't take that open flame.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I know, like I've talked to a guy from Jamaica. He said they can take it right out of the bank and just make sure there's no big rocks in there and stuff like that. And you can take it and use it right away, and you can put it on open flame and everything.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, back to survival bushcraft, I brought a willow basket that I wove, right?
Yeah.
And this is a bark basket made of spruce bark stitched with willow. So you can make stuff straight from the bush. Just all you need is a knife and a little imagination and knowledge. But these won't hold water. You can make a birch bark basket that will hold water and boil water. But so you do need clay, or you got to do the burn bowl, and that's a lot of work to boil your water, right?
For sure.
Scott, in these baskets too, I got a feeling this is related to our new segment, the foraging tip of the week.
You got it.
Yeah.
I know they use a tamarack too for weaving, like the roots from the tamarack.
Yes.
They're good for making
Stitching.
Yeah, stitchy stuff.
Yeah.
And I know cedar too. They make ropes out of cedar.
Yeah.
The
Cedar
bark.
ropes.
Yeah.
Done that.
Bark.
And spruce root, you can split it and it's very strong. You can use it for stitching as well.
And also underneath the bark of a black spruce, the white skin, if you chew it and you put it on a wound, it helps heal the wound.
Yeah.
And there's several plants like the arnica. We have like in the province of Alberta, we have like 7 or 8 different types of arnica.
Mm-hmm.
They grow around here. We have the heart-shaped arnica.
Heart-leaved arnica, yeah.
Yeah, it grows around here, and don't eat the plant because it's poisonous. But you could put the leaves in that on the wound.
Yeah, sore muscles. He's speaking my language.
Yeah, man, that ties. I love
I
it.
used to study wild plants.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and like there's several different plants you can eat, and some you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Scott's got one. Are we eating this one then, Scott?
Well, so George had us start the foraging question of the week. Last week we did morel mushrooms because they're out. And I've been teaching edible medicinal plants for, 30, 40 years now. And dandelion is, I always say, it's the gateway drug to foraging because everyone knows dandelions.
Oh yeah.
But what people don't know is how amazing they actually are. So we're going to go get into it a bit here. People know that you can eat parts of the dandelion, but a lot of people are shocked that you can eat the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
you just take the roots and roast them, and you make coffee out of them.
Yeah, yeah. You can grind them up. So when my kids were young, we would dig up the roots, and they can be a bit like a carrot when you get that outer bark off. They're like a white stringy carrot. We chop them up, put them on a cookie sheet, stick them in the oven, and roast them till they're golden brown. We like them fairly dark brown, and throw them in the coffee grinder.
Oh yeah.
And it tastes almost exactly like coffee with a bit of peanut butter flavor. It's a decaf though, so you're not going to get a caffeine jolt. But in times of war, people would stretch out their coffee supplies by mixing it with dandelion.
Oh yeah.
And tastes very good. The kids loved it. You could put your cream and sugar in there, feed it to someone. They'd think it'd be coffee with a bit of peanut butter flavor.
Yeah.
It's also very good for the digestive system, good for the liver and the kidneys, rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, and K. So that's the roots, eh?
Yeah, like a lot of plants are that were brought over from Europe, and they consider them now as weeds.
Yeah.
Like lamb's quarters, very healthy
yeah.
plant to eat. You know, and there's
Yeah.
and like even get your chamomile that grows right close to the ground, has the orange top there, you know.
Yeah.
Make chamomile tea, but there's the other one that's poisonous, the scentless chamomile. It has a daisy white flower on it, that's poisonous.
Yeah, lamb's quarters, I always joke, and we'll do a thing on lamb's quarters, but people weed it out of their garden. I'm like, what you're weeding out tastes better than the lettuce that you're trying to grow there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very tasty stuff. Now, dandelion greens are edible. I've eaten them on sandwiches. They're a bit like romaine lettuce, but as they get older, they get super bitter.
Yeah, that's it.
But the flower heads, and I brought a little sample pack here, George, because I know...
We eating those today?
Oh, we're eating them.
Wow.
We're eating them. So when I do little bush snacks, you know, I'm hunting or hiking around through the bush, you can easily take your flower head. So Ray, if you want one, help yourself there. That's a good one. If you don't mind a bit of bitter, you can eat the green. Otherwise, pull the green right off. Search for little aphids. Otherwise, you're getting extra protein, and that's free of charge, George.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can just peel off a bit of that green if you don't like the bittering.
All right.
And just pop that sucker right in your mouth.
No,
And chow down.
no, it's good.
Yeah, and so the bears right now are picking those.
Well, yeah,
A lot of birds and things are eating them too. But remember, the flower is full of that nectar. It's trying to encourage the bees to come and different pollinators, and it's pretty pleasant, right?
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, there's several plants like a wild cucumber. I've eaten that around here.
Mm-hmm.
Like twisted stalk is another name for it. As the liverberry bush says, goes about that high. But when it first comes out of the ground, it tastes just like cucumber.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
stalk.
Yeah. And so,
same as strawberry blight too.
strawberry blight, also a weed in the garden,
Oh, yeah,
but
it
pretty
tastes very-
tasty.
It's very
Yeah,
tasty.
very
It
tasty.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of
This
that.
kind of reminds me of peas.
Yeah, it has a bit
Yeah,
of a pea
yeah.
flavor to it.
Yeah.
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 So again, if you're out in the bush, and here's the thing, take a pack of bacon with you, because bacon doesn't grow on trees. But now you can supplement with dandelions, and we're going to get into a whole bunch of other mushrooms and things in the months ahead. But what a lot of people forget is dandelion is more than just edible, it's also medicinal. So the milk that comes in when you cut it and that milk comes out, you can use that to treat wounds. People have gotten rid of warts with that stuff because it's got latex in it.
Oh,
And the stems, and I've got a whole bundle of them here. You can use them for basket weaving, and you can look this up. Go online and look up dandelion stem baskets, and they're gorgeous. So you cut the stems and you let them dry first, and then you spritz them to get them supple, and use them like cordage and weave some beautiful baskets with them. So yeah, fantastic. And then, last but not least, as a survival trick, we've often talked about what can you do to make fire in the bush. The dandelion heads, which everybody knows, as a kid you blow on them and the seeds blow in the wind.
And you make a wish.
And you make a wish.
That's it, yeah.
Or you make fire, right? If you can get a spark, flint and steel, like even I can use the back of my saw on a chunk of quartzite, strike a spark into that fluff to get a fire going. Or if your lighter dries up of butane and you still have that spark, you can get a fire going with the fluff of dandelion. I also use it for bow drill. Get a bow drill fire, get the ember, and then blow it into flames. So it does have some good survival principles as well.
Yeah, and it's fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cattails.
Cattails.
Are fantastic. Yeah. Fireweed, and
Fireweed,
the balsam poplar fluff, which is blowing in the wind in the springtime. Yeah. So yeah, good old dandelion.
Wow.
We mow it with the lawnmower. It's edible. If you're listening, try some dandelion coffee. You will actually be pleasantly surprised.
Well, even like poplars, when they get that, they have a sunscreen, that white powder on the sun, goes on the poplar. You can use that for sunscreen.
Oh wow.
Because you take it, and that's why the poplars have that white stuff, because they have very sensitive skin.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially on the south side of the tree where the sun's shining. Yeah.
That's cool.
So dandelion's plant of the week, but we'll do this every week.
I like it. That's great.
Falling trees in the bush, the rule of thumb is the majority of the trees always lean towards where the sun comes up. When the sun comes up, the trees want to lean that way.
Yeah.
So when you're falling trees, but sometimes not all trees will fall that way.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but majority of them, they always want looking for sunlight.
Yeah.
I feel like we've learned a lot today on this episode. This is
No,
great.
it's good. Some good history. I do have a would you rather on dandelions.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you've eaten one, would you rather survive for a week eating only dandelions, or you have a bottle of ketchup? You can eat nothing but the ketchup or dandelions.
I don't really like ketchup too much.
You're going dandelions, right?
Yeah, I'd rather eat dandelions.
All you're eating is ketchup?
That's all you got, man. Yeah.
No, I don't.
I do love ketchup. I put ketchup on most things.
Well, there's too much sugar. I'm a diabetic, so
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot of sugar in diabetic and ketchup. I mean,
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go ketchup.
You're
I
going
think.
ketchup.
I don't know though.
You know, as a survivalist, that sugar in there and salt you might start craving it more than you would the dandelions. But I've certainly gone out in the bush and eaten dandelions for a few days, so
Yeah.
it ain't fun. One more. Would you rather drink only dandelion coffee for a full week, or cream soda? Nothing else for liquids. That's all you got. Cream soda, dandelion coffee.
I do want to try this dandelion coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Yeah.
I don't drink pop.
So you're going dandelion
Yeah,
again.
I used to drink diet pop, but it's not good for my joints. So I don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this dandelion coffee, I'm taking the roots up, putting it on a cookie sheet.
Yep. Scrub them clean, scrape them a bit, get that little bark off.
Yeah.
Chop them up fine.
Yeah.
Put them on a cookie sheet, stick them in the oven really hot, and you'll see, you can check them as they get brown. The darker roast you like,
Yeah.
just roast them more.
Cool.
So you can go from golden brown to really dark brown. I like them fairly dark. Throw them in the coffee grinder, run them through the percolator just like you would any coffee.
Yeah.
And you can add cream or sugar or drink it straight up, and it tastes pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I don't like drinking Labrador tea too.
Yeah.
You gotta watch you don't drink too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel funny.
You
Yeah.
start seeing
When
vision.
we were kids, we tried it one time.
Yeah.
It was okay, but after a while, it makes you feel funny.
Yeah.
No, it does.
A little bit goes a long way. with
Yeah, because
Labrador
I
tea.
used to be a smoker too. I
Okay.
used to be a heavy smoker. We used to try smoking all kinds of stuff. Like underneath the red willow.
Red osier dogwood, yeah, that inner
Yeah.
bark's good tobacco.
The inner bark, the yellow stuff
Yeah.
underneath the red. Used to take that and dry it up and smoke it with kinnick.
I still do that, man. I still put that in my pipe.
Anyways, yeah. But anyways, yeah. So we used to try all kinds of smoking poplar leaves. I smoked Russian cigarettes.
Okay.
Just rolled up newspaper.
Russian cigarettes.
That's what we used to call Russian cigarettes. When you
Yeah.
get so desperate, you see. One time I saw this horse shit laying on the ground there. I was going to smoke that. No, that's the end of it.
Oh
Can't do
yeah.
that.
Got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the end of the line.
I did. I made cigars in the bush where you take cow parsnip when it dries, it's hollow,
Yeah.
and then you can stuff it with loose leaf tobacco and make a big stogie.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
if you're desperate for a cigar on your
Yeah.
cigar,
Yeah.
there are ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a heavy smoker. I smoked over a package a day.
Okay. Well, you're healthy. Whatever you did is working there, right?
But I haven't smoked for 40 some years now.
Yeah.
Laying on my wife.
Ray was before we shut this down too. You're recently nominated for a Senior Lifetime Achievement Award. Just like looking back at your time in Hinton and your involvement in the community, what's been the most rewarding part of being out here?
Just living in Hinton. I really love Hinton. I get away and I go in the city. I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have lived in several different cities.
Yeah.
I was born in Ontario, Fort William, Thunder Bay, now it's called. Then I moved to Regina, 49, and then I moved to Winnipeg, started school in Winnipeg, and then moved to Edmonton,
Yeah.
Fort Saskatchewan.
And then you came to God's country. Out
Yes.
Here. Yeah.
And I used to go in the mountains here, and do some exploring and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do a lot of fishing, and I really loved fishing when I was a youngster. Right now, I go to BC and go to Francois Lake and go do some fishing there.
Yeah.
Some of the best pike to eat around here was from Greg Lake.
Yeah. I saw Andrea, who we work with.
Yeah.
She sent me a picture last week, and they were out camping in Greg Lake and fishing off the dock there, like pike 3 feet long, like massive.
Yeah, we used to, but nowadays you gotta let them go.
Yeah, you can't keep them.
Yeah.
But boy, back in the days, they were like the ones in Jarvis Lake. I don't know. You probably don't taste them, but they have more worms in them.
Oh,
than
okay.
the one in Jarvis Lake.
Yeah.
The whitefish do for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we've had guys come to Greg Lake trying to find a world record pike.
Oh.
So they
I've seen
expect
some big
that
ones,
there's
boy.
some really big
Oh.
ones there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some big huge ones there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting in trouble for naming this lake now.
Yeah,
right?
Maxwell Lake. Pardon me. Not Greg Lake. Maxwell Lake.
Oh, Maxwell. Oh, that's good. Yeah, who named that? Did you name it?
I didn't name Maxwell.
'Cause somebody
Lake.
told me it would come from another guy, Maxwell, because I didn't know who Maxwell was.
Yeah.
I knew it was always called Allen's Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember Thompson Lake. That was always called Thompson Lake. But McCall had a sawmill there when I moved here.
Okay.
But he had just closed down. Then he moved to Camp 3 on the Anderson Creek.
Yeah.
On the Bob Road there. And he had a camp in there.
Well, Thompson Lake, years ago, somebody was going to the Olympics and practiced speed skating on Thompson Lake.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's quite a history there. That's just,
See?
we walk by there, it's like a little pond, but somebody trained
Yeah.
for the Olympics.
Yeah, we used
on
to go
that
there
lake.
skate, but we never did speed skating. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Well, this has been great, Ray. Thanks so much for coming
Okay,
on. Your
yeah.
story's been great. Ray with the Athabasca River Potters Guild. You can find him there. I know my wife's always just like, our whole house is going to be pottery pretty soon. The rate we're going, it's amazing. There's just some really cool creations. We'll post some of these pictures too. Yeah, this has been awesome. Scott, as always, Radically Wild, still out. Audiobook coming.
Audiobook's coming. I'm working on getting it, you call it published in audio, but it's going to be on pretty much everything. Audible, Kobo, iTunes. I'm not sure, Spotify, you name it, libraries.
Yeah.
It's
Sweet.
hopefully worldwide
Love it.
distribution this summer. So, yeah, if you don't read, no excuse. You can listen to a book in the truck.
Yeah.
And before we close, George, you did
Oh,
the
big
race of a
run.
lifetime.
Yeah, holding on ultra last week.
How did it go?
Oh, you went on that race.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was good. Man, there's so many people. It's like, it's such an interesting community where everyone's cheering for you. So everyone you
Yeah.
pass on the trail or when you're meeting someone on the trail, it's like, good job, keep it up, you got this. And it's
Nice.
like, it's such a cool community to be involved in. And they put on such a great race. Like, it was smooth
And the weather was good in the end. You thought
we
you
were
were having
expecting rain the whole weekend, and it was sunshine, blue
Yeah, it was a
sky all
beautiful
day.
day that
So,
day,
yeah,
yeah.
it was amazing.
Did you feel good by the end, or were you wrecked? Or how was the day after? Like, how was the whole thing?
My legs were wrecked for a few days.
Yeah.
But overall, not bad. Like, I trained a fair bit going into it.
Yeah.
I was kind of like middle of the pack in the end. The guy who ended up winning the 25K was like almost 2 hours in front of me, I think. Like, we're going up the mountain, he's coming back down. He was an hour ahead of everyone else. So there's just some people involved that were incredible. But yeah, it was fun. It was a
Good for
time.
you. Well,
Yeah.
I'm proud of you because you took that on. You trained with a full-time job and a young kid and
Yeah.
your family, and you worked hard. So good on you.
It was Jason on the podcast that was like, we should do it. I'm like, all right, sure. Let's
Yeah,
just sign up.
George says yes to everything. He's going to join the Pottery Guild.
Yeah, now you're into pottery too. So yeah, no, it worked out great, and it was awesome to be a part of. So yeah, it was fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ray. Thanks,
Okay,
Scott.
Thanks, Ray.
Until next week.
Well,
Stay
thanks-
wild.
Thanks for listening to me.